Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. So this is going to be a series of lecture where we are going to cover all about IB Biology, IGCSE curriculum, where first today we're going to start with water. Before that, a quick introduction about myself. I am Dr. Shiza Virani and I have been teaching biology for the last 9 years now. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now first, let us just quickly discuss some features about water which has, given it so much of significance, so much of importance in life. So first we'll discuss water as the medium of life. Okay. Now we all know that of course life wouldn't have been possible if there was no water. As early Earth was extremely hot, the temperatures were really up, and so water couldn't, be present in all the phases that we can see today. In all possible phases, solid, liquid, gas. It was only possible when the Earth was, finally getting its temperature down. The temperature was decreasing, it was cooling down enough. That's when water was able to exist in all these three phases or three states. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because due to this particular feature of changing phases of water, we can see its significance, its functions in the various parts of the ecosystem around us. Okay, we can see ice in the Arctic Ocean, and we're going to talk a lot more in detail about it being so important in the ecosystem over there. Of course, liquid water in the oceans and water vapor has their own major roles in the atmosphere. So all of this was only possible to develop when Earth started cooling down. Now, in general, whenever you think about importance of water in living organisms, any layman actually could just name a few functions, right? I mean, water is literally used in everything. Like we use it for drinking, we use it for bathing, washing. Technically, it's essential for all living organisms in some form or the other. But in biology specifically, there's a lot more to it. Okay. Now, water is, as we already understood and elaborated on the fact that it's the main solvent which helped form the cells, also the main solvent for the cytoplasm in the cells, for where, of course, most of your chemical reactions of the cells are going to occur. It is also the main material or main fluid which all the organelles use, allowing them to function properly. Water is also required for all the intercellular tissue fluids that are present between the cells. Okay, it also helps in the transportation of molecules of molecules and substances into and out of the cell. So let's say if you learn about active transport, we're going to learn about passive transport, we're going to learn about pumps, facilitated diffusion, osmosis. Everywhere we'll see role of water or the role of this particular important solvent. It's also in fact a very, very major component when it comes to blood, when it comes to all other body fluids, when we are specifically talking about humans. And of course, it's the medium for life in lakes, rivers, and all possible water bodies that you can think of. Now, a very important exam tip here when you're getting, or let's say when you're prepping up for IB biology or your examination specifically, you're expected to use certain keywords, right? So here your exam tip would be to use keywords like solvent, cytoplasm, transport, tissue fluid, medium for life, and that's going to assure that you will score full marks if any of your FRQ or any of your questions are coming from this part of the chapter. Now, because we've completed the first subtopic underwater, let's try a practice question to test your knowledge. So the question is right in front of your screen and you get 10 seconds to think about it. Just keep in mind you have to answer using keywords. Now, usually IB biology takes care of your answers basically to standardize the correction process or evaluation process from the teachers. So you have a marking scheme that they follow. As you can see on the screen, there are 2 marks for this question. In the first answer, you're expected to write the keywords solvent for biochemical reactions. So if your answer had these keywords or similar keywords, you'll get that 1 mark. Second is allow reactions or stable environment or medium for reactions. What does this slash signify? It tells you that these 3 options could be your answer. So if you've used any of these as your keywords in your answers, then you get another 1 mark. So that's how IB is going to give you 2 marks. Now, there are a few more questions. Right now on your screen, there are 3. Another timer is going to set up on the screen. So you can start practicing the questions. Again, because these are IB style, just keep in mind that you want to stick to the marking scheme. If you think that you are out of keywords, or let's say you don't know which keywords to use, you can always, go back to the video, try to take some screenshots of what we've just learned, and then try to identify what keywords could fit into these answers. And I'm sure you'll get them. Now, this is the solution for your previous answers, which were IB style. Of course, the first answer is going to tell you that liquid water formed highlighted is the part which is expected as a marking scheme. So if I go on a totality, of course, when Earth cooled down, water was able to get into these states, and that's how liquid water was able to be there, allowing all the biochemical reactions that it could, provide help for, because it was the solvent medium for all the biochemical reactions. B is that water is a polar solvent. Now we're going to be discussing about this in detail in our upcoming videos. What do you mean by polar solvent? What do you mean by non-polar? What is a covalent polar, non-polar, covalent polar? All about that. But this is what you're expected to answer in this particular answer here. So water is a polar solvent. That means it's going to allow substances to actually dissolve in it, specifically polar substances to dissolve in it, and therefore it's also a very good medium for biochemical reactions. Your last C answer, you can always now, the drill. You can see the keywords: large, stable aquatic environment. Okay, so oceans, they're going to provide a large, stable aquatic environment, and water here is acting as a solvent for reactions. So ocean actually protected these early cells from extreme temperature fluctuations. I hope you found the content helpful, and I'm sure you're going to find it more worthy once we move ahead in the lectures. Do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends so that it's also helping them. I teach AP Biology, AP Chemistry, biology honors, chem honors, and everything to do with biology basically. I also conduct online sessions where you can check it out in the bio and get in touch with me through my email ID. See you in the next video.